ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to some Broadway World over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, and Spotify. I love when I find people who do such amazing, great, incredible things. Tin Pan Alley is something that the type of music that we've all heard of and grew up with, and you hear it and it lives forever. It's part of the Great American Songbook. And people who have gotten together and put out an incredible album that I got to listen to, and you can listen to it as well. We're going to find out all about West of Broadway and all about what's going on here with this group. They're coming to my two favorite places to see a show. They're coming to the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, which is, I've worked there for years in the musical theater department. You need to go check out Newark, New Jersey. Make sure you show up. And then I moved to Detroit, and Ann Arbor's down the road. And the Arc and University of Michigan and everything that's going on there is the greatest place to see a show. So you need to get tickets, everybody. Please welcome them to the show. Congratulations, you two. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Would you, Rachel? And now, will you say it right? Because I got scared. I don't want to mess it up.
It's Vilray.
Vilray. See, thank you. I have my ADD so bad. We went over it, and then the second I can't be a performer like y'all because I get stage fright.
I can never remember anybody's name because I'm terrified about having to say my own in the course of introducing myself.
So tell us a little bit about how you two found each other and start. Rachel, how did this happen?
Vilray and I met when we were students at the New England Conservatory, and we started the same year. We were in the same only dorm that there is. And I didn't know him very well after the first year, but he was playing in a band with what became my future bandmates, Lake Street Dive. They had a band called Cause Wiener Wednesdays, and they wrote.
We were 18 years old.
They were 18, yeah, and really nothing has changed, if I'm being honest. And they asked me to sing this silly song with them one day. And I thought it was a really, really big deal to get asked to sing with them. So that was maybe the start. This was like me going over to their crappy apartment and singing a weird song that I thought was really cool. And for me, it was a big deal. But it was years later, after Vilray and I became good friends, we were both living in New York. And Vilray wasn't working as a musician. He was working at a office that sold lights.
Made lights,
more or less made lights. Yeah, a light manufacturer. You were working in Queens, he was living in deep Brooklyn. So nobody ever saw him. We were we can't make plans with Vilray. He doesn't come out. And then he started sort of, I think, secretly to his friends, busking in the subway, playing songs. And then he played a gig at a tiny bar in Williamsburg that I went to. And I was very moved by it. And I asked Vilray if he would let me do these types of shows with him. And it kind of worked. It worked at that point. We got together, we played, and it was fun.
I think it's still working now more than ever. Vilray, were you really out in the subway playing and trying to make it? Did you give up on music at one point?
Yeah, I think I always sort of thought I was putting it aside. I think it's too depressing to give up on something, especially so young. I think I was just I'll get to it eventually. I don't need to do this right now. I should probably try to make some money. And I quit college and I came back to New York to make money because I was spending so much on school. And so yeah, for about 10 or so years, I didn't touch the instrument. I really wasn't writing any music. And it wasn't until I sort of had a hand injury and I was like, oh, maybe I won't live forever. And maybe I won't always be able to do this. So I started playing in the subway.
I love that. So Rachel, for you two, when you got together and started to play together and come up with the idea, why did you decide to do these songs from the 30s and 40s, these great Tin Pan Alley classics? You could have picked any genre, any style. Why this?
I grew up singing that style. It was the first music that I really fell in love with. And for many, many years, all I ever wanted to do was be a jazz singer. And I took a different path when Lake Street Dive formed and we started, I learned how to sing in a different way, but I always felt like that was sort of where my voice kind of naturally felt the best. And so when Vilray played that show, he played a lot of songs from the 20s and 30s that were obscure. And I was very moved because there was a warm sort of cozy recognition of the style, but not a relationship with those songs because I hadn't heard many, many versions of them. And so I was just like, oh, this music is still so potent. It's still like very energetic and fresh and alive, even though it's been around for a long time. And so, yeah, that's why I asked him if we could do it. And I think that when people hear this style of music for the first time, like some people come to our shows, they've never listened to music from the 20s and 30s and 40s. And to them, they're like, they can't believe it. They're just like, I don't even know what I just heard. And so that's also exciting to kind of bring this style to people who aren't super aware of it.
I'm excited for people to check it out. The album, everybody, while we're talking, West of Broadway is out. You can be streaming it right now. So Vilray, how did you pick this music? How did you pick the songs that made it on the album? And what is your live show like?
Well, I should jump in here and say that of the songs, all but one are original. So I write these songs. We started
the style of.
Yeah, and I'm certainly influenced by, the things that attract us to this music. I think this particular album, which is our third, is maybe slightly more informed by this concept that I had of listening to old original Broadway cast recordings, getting steeped into like the direct, musical theater tradition of the jazz origins, and trying to write songs that sort of dropped you into the middle of the story, assumed that you knew something, because obviously when you listen to these cast recordings, they're kind of recordings of shows. And so it's just this one part, the musical part of the show. And so it's all the explanation for why this song makes sense in that moment has come in the scene beforehand. And that was really attractive to me, just kind of thinking about like, I don't necessarily know what all the stories are in these shows, but you kind of get this cool pixelated sort of experience of the story, of the narrative. So that was kind of the guiding light behind this record, was sort of like assuming the listener had some knowledge of the show that doesn't exist, obviously.
It's really fun idea. And what I love about it when I was reading reviews, Rachel, is that people say it's got that old school style, but it has a modern flair twist. Like it lives in 2025 as much as it would live in any time. So this is not really, it's not a throwback to a decade or a nostalgia show. It's as relevant as ever.
I agree. Yeah, I think that the things that Vilray writes about, the topics feel, I mean, he's a man living today. And Vilray's very much writing about his experiences and his feelings on what's happening today in the style of a time gone by. But I think that lyrically you feel both things.
So go to their website as well, everybody. You can follow them and you can find out all of the dates. And while we're talking, I mean, specifically at my Jersey fam, where I'm from, Jersey, go to njpac.org and get your tickets to see them at the beautiful New Jersey Performing Arts Center. And then they'll be all over. I mean, that's not just there. I mean, you guys are literally hitting the road from Vancouver to San Francisco to here to Ann Arbor, all the way to New York City. What's it been like for you, Bill? What's it been like for both of you, I guess, to say what has it been like that it's caught on, and now you're playing places like Town Hall in New York City?
It's fun. It's wild. It's crazy. It's Rachael takes us places that are wonderful, and I feel like, I grew up in New York City, so Town Hall is special for me, but I feel very much like a humble country mouse when we're playing a big theater and connecting this music to so many people. It's magical for sure.
I'm excited for it. So Rachel, how is this? What is this your live shows when you're together like compared to your other music?
It's very different. I mean, our Vilray and I show varies. It will vary quite a bit on this tour, as there are some shows that we're going to play duo, and then there are some shows where we're going to have a full band, just like people would hear on the album. But regardless of full band or duo, there's like barely a comparison to what I do with Lake Street Dive. Like, I just got back from a Lake Street Dive tour and a few days ago, and then Vilray and I were playing some music a couple days ago, and I was like realizing that my voice, like, it was almost like I needed an adjustment to sing in that way. I was like, oh, it's like if I was singing a rock song right now, my voice would just be belting it out, but like I had to like kind of reconfigure what it felt like to sing jazz again, because it's just like a completely different placement. So the singing is wildly different. The performance is also very different, because especially when Vilray and I are doing duo shows, but regardless, we have to be very locked into one another, and we're very aware of each other's experience during the show. We're mostly communicating with each other, and we're hoping that communication translates to the audience and they're feeling our enjoyment of playing with each other. Which I do feel is a different experience than when I sing with Lake Street Dive, where it's like I feel like everything is just me facing the audience. It's just like punching. It's just like it's just like that. And so I do think that there's an intimacy to people watching Vilray and I just have this like very, very close relationship. Just playing duo, we have to just be like so focused on one another. So it's just a different. It's like a different gaze or something.
Yes, I like that. Vilray, how do you guys organize your schedules? You're both busy. She's in another group, and you have your own projects that are going on. So how do you prioritize or make a plan and work I mean, being in a duo together and is like a very intimate relationship, and it's like a marriage in many ways. So how do you fit it all and make it work?
Just like a marriage, communication. We look at each other's calendars. I don't know. We make space for this, and I'm always grateful to Rachel, and it's a wonderful thing to know that we're both still enjoying this. We've been doing it for coming on 10 years. So it's as fresh and as interesting as ever. And I think part of that is always having the music be new. As you said, we like play bigger places than we did the last time we were on the road. So that's its own sort of new and lively change. And yeah, we just keep it interesting.
Rachel, how do you describe your voice? I mean, like you have your music with the other group. You've been on tour. You've sung like Grace Slick's parts in shows and tours. You have a varied. If you listen to the albums that have been put out through the years, there's a very different style. This is a different part, or a different way you use your voice up on stage.
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, I have worked probably the hardest in my life on versatility when it comes to singing, being able to sing many different styles of music, and sort of figuring out what the core part of a certain style is in order to like make it sound authentic. But I don't think that there's any style that feels more authentic to me than jazz.
I love that. So Vilray, who do you hope comes to see your show? Who should stream this album? Who do you intend to make this for? Every human being on the planet.
Everybody. Single person. Yeah. That's what's so special about this music, and sort of keying into the core essence of this tradition, is that it's part of the cultural ambiance, through theater and movies and advertisements and whatever. It's part of the language that we all speak musically, even if we're not, some of us, actively listening to it and putting on the record or putting on the CD or streaming Ella Fitzgerald or whatever, which everybody should do. You should open up your palette to that thing. But even if you don't, it's there, And so I think we slot in kind of to a space in people's heart, whether or not they know that it's there. And
no, people are saying on the album, everybody, that you got experimental with some of the instrumentation that you use. I mean, you're doing saxophones. You're talking about there's a different. You both continue to evolve with this, and it grows and it becomes bigger, and you get to really seem to play and create something special.
For sure, yeah. The arranger on this record is Jacob Zimmerman. He did the arrangements on the previous 2 records as well. We had more or less the same instrumentation on those other 2 records, and I told him to kind of gear himself towards sort of the West Coast school of jazz that existed in the late 40s and early 50s, which is a little smoother, a little more plugged into sort of 20th century classical dissonance. And there's Barry sax on here, which I feel like evokes that music, and some vibraphone, which also kind of has this like nice smoothing effect. A lot of great players. There's soprano saxophone also, and trombone, and no trumpet. And it's a very chill record.
I love it. It's the perfect record for, if it's a Friday night and you're looking to have some dinner with someone you love and you want to hang out in a little moment in your home and take a moment after a crazy week. This is the album you need to be streaming. You need to be listening to it. I listened to it the other day, and when I put it on, I was Love Comes Around comes on. I'm like, we need to hear this. We all need to hear this music. I can't wait to hear for you all to check it out live. Listen, New Jersey, November 16th, New York, November 18th, and my neighbors over in Ann Arbor, over at the University of Michigan, November 7th, and tons of other dates available. But if you're in New Jersey, come down to New Jersey Performing Arts Center. It's part of their jazz festival. It's one of the greatest events that they do every year. Who better to be a part of it than these 2 right here? The album is out. You got to stream it, and make sure you check out their website for all the dates. Get your tickets, and just go to njpac.org and get. They're going to sell out all these shows, everybody. I'm telling you. There won't be seats, so you better get them now. Congratulations for this, and congratulations for teaching us that we could expand our horizons, do lots of fun, amazing projects, create things that we love, and they can work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I lost connection there, I think. So.
I only said nice things about you. I swear.
Said like a bunch of nice stuff. Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're going to sell out. I would say the shows are going to sell out, so you got to get a ticket.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000% agree.
Congratulations. Come back anytime. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Robert.